Hey, what's up, guys? So I know that last draft ended kind of early, so I know a lot of some sites, specifically Channel Fireball, put in filler videos so it doesn't get spoiled. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some heads-up constructed queues and use those as my filler videos so that uh, there's a little bit of content. Just this isn't gonna be like the most prepped content of all time. This is gonna be heads up cues of constructed decks that I'm thinking of playing. So right now I've got this prized amalgam emerge deck. I've played a few matches with it. Had some sort of mixed results. The Magic Online metagame is super weird right now. It's kind of um, how to explain it. There's a lot of weird blue decks. There's a lot of like the Jace's Sanctum type of things, or uh, Part the Water Veil kind of things going on, which I think are because those are kind of budget decks that end up being very popular on Magic Online. Um, this deck is also very goofy. It's not super budget because it's got all these Jaces and Kozilek's returns and stuff in it. But it's super cool. I like it a lot. I don't know if it's really good enough to play, so that's kind of what I'm finding out right now. I think probably the best. So this deck is Haunted Deads, Prized Amalgams. Bring back the Haunted Dead. Bring back all your Prized Amalgams. Emerge. Um, Elder Deep Fiend. That's the plan with this deck. Um, this hand is not amazing. I mean, we actually really like drawing those prized amalgams because the more prized amalgams you have at the ready, the better the deck is in general. Our opponent also mulliganed twice, so they're going to have a tough time. Looks like they're on white-black control, which is a pretty decent matchup for this deck, I think, just because this is an emerge deck. And Elder Deep Fiend is very, very good against these control, sorcery-heavy control decks. I'm gonna not play Jace here. There's no reason to get Jace end of turn. Well, I mean, if he's got Grasp, he's got Grasp. If he's got a Grasp, we're not getting an activation out of Jace. Jace is pretty terrible in these black-green or black-white control matchups. Just because he turns on their removal spells in a useful, makes them useful in a way that they are just not useful against the rest of the deck. But it looks like his mulligan has definitely cost him, and he's not going to have it. So we could flip Jace this turn. I actually like doing that. I'm going to gather the pack first. And he's going to... Yeah, so he does have the ultimate price now. That's fine. Let's dump Kozilek's return. Gather the pack brings us Ishkana, Haunted Dead, Elder Deep Fiend, so we're happy to see that. We'll put this Elder Deep Fiend in our hand. We're probably just going to get a Forest with this Evolving Wilds. We got a lot of green cards, so it would be nice. So he gets to transgress us here. That's annoying. Not much we can do about that. Transgress is definitely one of the reasons why you kind of want to see if you can play around it with all of your spells that let you get stuff out of your deck with your vessels and grapples and gather the packs. Kind of want to hold those in hand until you're ready to use the Deep Fiend almost. We didn't really have a choice there. Early in the game, you just got to shoot them off. I guess Forest, so we have a pain-free source of green, which is something that we probably want to do. So the question is if we want to play around Hallowed Moonlight or Languish. And we're much better set up to play around Languish. He's also missed a land drop, so I'm going to go ahead and Haunted Dead on my turn here. And there's a reasonable chance we get Languished here, but even getting Languished once, we can just reload. We got a lot of extra cards. Unfortunately, we're very land heavy this game. But getting Hallowed Moonlight, like exiling both of our prized amalgams, is definitely a way that we could lose this game. Okay, so he was not able to languish us. I think that was the right play there. Just getting Hallowed Moonlighted is really, really gross. So against Black-White, they have a lot of Planeswalkers, so we want this Dragonlord Silumgar. We're not interested in Ishkana, but we do like Distended Mindbender, Swamp. We're not really interested in casting Kozilek's Return. We're not super interested in having Kozilek's Return in our deck. But so I think that this is the way it's nice to have a couple of Kozilek's Returns because you know, they can make tokens, they can get some sorts of creatures in play. I don't know exactly what build he's playing. He may be creature heavier. You know, the fact that Liliana, the Last Hope, exists makes these Black-White decks have a reasonable number of creatures in them now. Not a ton. So I'm not. I would like to end up with one Kozilek's Return in my graveyard at some point in the game, so I'm going to keep a couple in my deck. This build of the deck has Collective Brutalities in it, which I have liked a reasonable amount so far. They're not insane, but they've been pretty good, and I like having them certainly against Black-White control. So this hand's fine. We look much more like a regular, you know, green-based Emerge deck. We're going to keep this. Yeah, if he's got Forsaken Sanctuary, he's definitely Black-White control and not like Abzan or something. So this is a little awkward. Our Evolving Wilds is going to get a Swamp just because we need to have that double black for Distended Mindbender. I think we're going to get Transgressed here, so we don't get to Mindbender him after all. So I guess we're not going to get that Swamp. He might take the Nissa here if he's got another Transgress. Yeah, so that's pretty bad for us, I think. We're gonna go ahead and get I guess get an island. Just make it easy on ourselves to have enough blue mana. So in this matchup, because it's so grindy, I like trying to use Gather to get 2 cards. We're low enough on lands that Grapple is probably going to get us a land no matter what. We don't need we don't need to set ourselves up so we have a ton of options to grapple for. So I'm going to go ahead and use Grapple instead of Gather the Pack here. I maybe should have boarded out my Jaces. We just don't have a ton that we actively want to bring in against this deck, which is not great. Definitely need to work on the sideboard a little bit. I mean, he may be boarded in such a way that Jaces are pretty good against him. He may have chosen to take out like his ultimate prices. It's hard to tell. Shoot. What do we want to do here? So we're not going to be able to gather the pack for value next turn. I think getting the Jace is just too big of a risk. We could easily get stuck on lands, and then we are not happy. I think we want this Evolving Wilds. And then we got a pretty big choice here. Well, I guess not really. Never mind. We just have to gather the pack. There's really no other option. It's going to be a while before we can Mindbender him, unfortunately. And we missed completely. Yeah, sometimes that happens with Gather the Pack. We've got a lot of creatures in this deck, but that's a thing that can happen sometimes. That puts us pretty far behind in this game. I think as long as he has spells in hand, we're just in a lot of trouble here. I don't think we're going to get there. If this is a Gideon, yeah, that is trouble. Alright, we're going to get a swamp here. Oh boy. And so we could gather the pack, hoping to hit like Haunted Dead to our graveyard and an Amalgam for our hand. We're just so far behind, we have to try to get value here. I don't see another option for us. We didn't really hit. Yeah, our deck is definitely misfiring a reasonable amount here. We just have nothing that we can do, and that Gideon's going to kill us very, very quickly now. And unfortunately, the nature of this deck is you show them a lot of your cards, so now Dragonlord Silumgar is not going to be much of a surprise in the future. Yeah, we really just got run all over this game. And his sideboard playing against us is probably very good. He probably has the full boat of Transgress the Mines, which makes it difficult to set up Deep Fiend. He probably has plenty of Hallowed Moonlights, which are just real good against our Amalgam stuff. This is an Obnixilis. Yeah, we're super buried this game. I don't see a way for us to get out of this. Like, us casting Haunted Dead on our turn is very anemic. I guess the way out of it is to Dragonlord Silumgar one of his Planeswalkers at some point. I mean, he definitely has an answer to Silumgar. We have no grapples with the past. We have just been drawing very, very badly this game. Not much we can do here. Yeah, our Haunted Dead against his Gideon and Obnixilis and 6 cards in hand. Probably not going to get there, unfortunately. Yeah, and the presence of Anguished Unmaking in his deck makes this an even worse matchup. Oath of Liliana. Yeah, so he's playing like the Travis Wu build. Keeping in Oath of Liliana, I mean, probably because our deck is such a kind of an odd duck. Yeah, I'm just going to concede. He's going to kill us very, very quickly here. because our deck is so weird, he probably has to keep in some not amazing cards, but even then, like, Oath is going to make multiple zombies, probably. Yeah, I don't see a way of taking these Jaces out. So that's probably one thing I need to work on is a better sideboard plan against black-white. Ideally, I would be able to take these Jaces out. They're great against him if they live, but that just seems so unlikely. So I don't know if I want some transgresses. I know that one of the builds of this deck has a bunch of Void Shatters in the sideboard, and that might be okay. Yeah, this is fine. Keep. I mean, it's not amazing, and this Dragon Lord is going to get snatched right out of our hand long before it can do anything. Oh, and I just forgot to play this Vessel on turn 1. What is wrong with me? Alright, well, we'll just gather the pack first. And yeah, I'll get this Jace. I guess, yeah, it'll at least give me a play. I probably actually should have played the Forest instead of the Waste there so that our Sunken Hollow could come into play untapped. Okay, Collective Brutality is a real nice one. I'm just going to Vessel this turn. I'm not going to run the Jace into a removal spell. This will allow me to get a little bit farther into our deck with the Vessel, and will let us Collective Brutality first, see what he's working with before we invest in Jace. I guess Island, that way we have double blue. That's fine. Languish, Ruinous Path, Grasp of Darkness, Ultimate Price, Archangel Avacyn, Westvale Abbey. So that's probably not a hand that we're equipped to beat. If we take the Ruinous Path, though, he has no answers, at least in hand, to Dragonlord Silumgar. So that's something. And I think what we can do here is we can Haunt a Dead for very little value, but then turn it into a Distended Mindbender on our turn. Which is not worried about Grasp or Ultimate Price. Yeah. So definitely the Ruinous Path is the card that we're taking here. It hurts to have no amalgams to return with our Haunted Dead. But that's just sort of the game we're playing at this moment. Alright, end step. Bring back Haunted Dead. And we can discard a land and this Jace. Then we'll traverse. And he may be thinking of, yeah, I mean, I guess he's got Grasp for the Haunted Dead here. I don't know that we had a different way of playing this, but looks like he's not willing to do that right now. So we're going to get Distended Mindbender. Could get Nissa. I think we just want to Mindbender him here, though. And we're not going to attack because now he knows we have Mindbender, so he's definitely willing to grasp it. So I mean, I guess Grasp is better against us. And we'll get one of these Archangels. We're going to try to play a game where Languish is just not very good. So he's got an Avacyn, 2 Languish, and an Ultimate Price. All right. Drawing that Prize Amalgam was not terrible. So he will Ultimate Price the Spirit here. Probably, I mean, he's got 2 mystery cards in hand now. I don't know if we want to Haunted Dead. Haunted Dead adds 6 power to our board here. But we do lose the island that is our untapped land to cast Silumgar with. Silumgar is not seeming incredibly necessary this game. At least not at this moment. In a couple of turns, depending on what happens, it might be good. The thing is, we don't get a ton of value by Haunted Deading out. Okay, well, actually, so in response to the Oath of Liliana, we're certainly going to Haunted Dead. Okay, and looks like we got there. So cool, deck worked. Definitely had a rough game too. I'll probably play at least one more, record at least one more. I'm probably going to play a bunch, but I'll record at least one more to go after the draft. And I'll see you during that video.